Hi, my name is Paul and I'm going to look at 3 different textbooks and then compare them. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one topic out of the grade 10 textbooks and it's going to be physical and chemical changes. I'm just basically going to roughly look at what types of questions they have and how they've been set out. In order for me to do this, I'm going to look at 7 different factors, and the first thing I'm going to look at is this CAPS compliant. Secondly, appropriate language is being used for the right levels. Number 3, the wealth of examples. 4, practical activities. 5, exam type questions. 6, resources. For example, what does a teacher get? Teaching kits, PPTs that are available, ICT that is available, and is there any additional information that a student can access via the different publishers' websites? And then finally, number 7, I'm going to look at the cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at 2 textbooks that are hard copy textbooks or that have been printed, and I'm going to then compare it to a online textbook from Siyavula, which is a free textbook. Now, not being biased and looking objectively to this, and looking at the scale of 7 points that I have, the CAPS, appropriate language levels, written, examples, practical activities, a wealth of examples, exam type questions, resource kits for teachers, and the cost of it. And out of 7, I'll then give my estimation of which textbook. Pearson Chemistry. I have then a Oxford Chemistry, Science and Chemistry. I have then the Siyavula Physical Science Grade 10 textbook. The Pearson's book, and as you can see, physical and chemical changes, very nice bullet pointed. What I do have to say, what I don't like about this textbook is that it doesn't offer a lot of practical questions. It is nicely set out, very nice and clean, little pinpoints in saying what to do and when to do it. The Oxford textbook, lovely colored pictures, very nice. Few questions down here, and if you turn the page you go into a different heading. So literally physical and chemical properties explained in 2 pages, whereas your questions are very limited. The physical science, when I see a Siyavula textbook, I can see that it's nicely set out, and what is quite nice about this textbook is that it actually has links that you can click on, and it opens up a website, so students can actually go onto the website and they can basically log in to Everything Science, or they can take tours around, which is great stuff. So and they can literally play around with some of the simulations, which is awesome. So this textbook gives videos, so on a concept, for example, the physical and chemical changes, you can see video clips on this textbook, as well as it gives you different experiments that goes through, and it has the different types of question sets. And at the end you can click on and you can go to more practices, there's videos, and there is the website thing what you can check. That's what I like about this textbook. So I actually went and I checked all 3 textbooks, and it's time for me to give my rating of them. Basically, I like all 3 of them. They have very good, strong qualities about them, but I have scored them completely different. The Pearson version of the textbook that I have for grade 10, like the format of it, quite nice, very colorful, very good textbook, very well written textbook as well, so kudos to the publishers, but I give them a 5 out of 7. It is CAPS compliant, it has the appropriate language levels, it has a wealth of examples, there is not a whole lot of practical questions in it. The resources for teachers definitely lack. You need to create your own PowerPoints, you need to create your own ICT, and the cost of it doesn't justify what you get. Then the Oxford textbook, very nicely pictured textbook, a lot of pictures are used, a lot of examples in pictures are used, but when it comes to the questions that are asked, it lacks in questions. CAPS, yeah, I don't think it's very CAPS reliant. I think addresses some of it, but you are definitely as a teacher going to have to work extra questions and extra activities to it. There is no practical activities in it. There is no teacher resources available for it. Cost of it, you're looking about 170 odd rand for a textbook like that. And then it brings me to the final one, which I really think is worth it. The Siavula textbook, love it. Love the fact that I can download a free copy of it, I can change it, I can edit it, I can change the words that I want to change in it, but you don't have to. It is 100% CAPS compliant. There's a lot more information that is what is required, so you need to sort out some of the bits that you don't want, but that's not the worst case scenario. Rather having too much information than not enough information. So out of 7, I would give it a 6 out of 7. Language appropriate, lacks a little bit. I think they could have used a lot more easier terminology for students. Even though the terminology is 100% correct, I think they can dumb it down a little bit. Differentiation for students, that's where you as a teacher will need to come in and differentiate for them. Love it. And yeah, you can get the electronic version of the textbook, and you can actually get a printed version of the textbook. Printed version roughly estimated at 180 odd rand, depending on the amount of copies that you do take. Wonderful textbook, love it. Teacher resources, up to date, up to standard, up to scratch. More practical activities and questions that teachers and students can do. Students can access any information and video clips online for this textbook. Love it, love it, love it.